Which subject topic, madam?
Wastewater, sir. Wastewater treatment technologies.
Okay. Can you record this, madam?
Sir? Yeah, yes, sir. It is available in YouTube.
I sent a request, madam. Can you record this? Add it through the request. Just approve that request I sent. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
You can start, madam.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, welcome to today's live session on wastewater treatment technologies. So, I'm Dr. Shrudipti. So, I will be walking you through block 1 of your syllabus today. So, today I'll discuss sources of water, conveyance, quality, and the stages of treatment. Okay?
Okay, madam. Go ahead.
So water is essential for life. Drinking water comes mainly from surface water and groundwater. So before supplying water, we must identify the source and understand its quality. So first of all, can anyone tell me what is mean by hydrological cycle or water cycle in your own words? So water cycle or a hydrological cycle?
Water vaporization, raining,
Yes,
cloudburst, and also rainfall. This is the water cycle.
yes. The water for drinking comes mainly from surface water, rivers, lakes, ponds, reservoirs, groundwater wells, tube wells, springs. So hydrological cycle is also called the water cycle. So the hydrological cycle is a continuous movement of water in nature. Yes. So it involves various steps. So evaporation. Sun heats water from oceans, rivers, and lakes, turning into water vapor, right? So this is the first step in the water cycle. So suns heats the water uh, from various water bodies like oceans, rivers, lakes. So that water is converted to the water vapor. So now coming to the second step in the water cycle is what? Condensation. So condensation is nothing but water vapor cools and forms clouds. So you can see the clouds here. And the next step in the water cycle is precipitation. So precipitation is nothing but rainfall. So water falls has rain, snow, or hail. So hailstones. And then next step is what? Infiltration. So infiltration means some rainwater enters the ground and some of the rainwater flows over the land surface. It is called surface runoff. It flows over the land surface and discharge into nearby water body, that is rivers, lakes, and oceans. So it is called runoff, surface runoff. So some rainwater enters the groundwater through infiltration, and some amount of the that is remaining water flows into the rivers, lakes, and the ocean. So these are the various steps involved in the water cycle or the hydrological cycle. And so the learning objectives in this, so first of all, we should know about the water cycle and what are the various water sources and selection criteria and water conveyance. So can you tell me what is mean by watershed?
Storing of water.
Okay, storing of water is called the watershed. Okay, it's a land. Here you can see the watershed picture. So a watershed or the catchment area is the land area that drains the rainwater into the same river, lake, or the reservoir. And the pollution, so pollution anywhere in the watershed can reach the water source. That is, it may be a surface water or a groundwater. So water simply watershed is nothing but a land area that collects the rainwater and drains into the same water bodies, that is river, lake, or the reservoirs. For example, if a factory releases waste anywhere in the watershed, the polluted water can eventually reach the drinking water source. So the main drinking water source is what? A river. So if anyone drinks that water, it leads to the different diseases. Okay, there are different types of the water contamination. There are different sources of the water pollution. Now, the water pollution sources are classified into the different types. Can you tell me what are the various sources of the water pollution?
Plastic usage, wastage, drainage,
Industrial waste.
industries,
Agriculture
okay, release of,
agriculture pesticides.
sorry,
Pesticide.
industrialization, urbanization, all
Okay.
this.
Yes. Okay. Could you define pollution? What is mean by pollution? Pollution. Pollution. What is mean by pollution?
The industrial wastages which will mix into the water that will contaminate the groundwater. So that will lead to pollution.
Pollution is pollution. Okay. So pollutant. So what is mean by pollutant?
Any unwanted substance which is
Yeah,
released into the
any
atmosphere.
unwanted substance, any unwanted material cause the pollution is called a pollutant. It may be air pollutant or a water pollutant. Now there are different types of the pollutants. So water pollution, major water pollutants and their sources. So water pollution is nothing but any undesirable change in the quality of water. It degrade the quality of water due to the addition of the pollutants. It may be organic or the inorganic substances or the biological agents. Okay, it may be a organic waste which can be easily degraded by the microorganism or addition of the chemicals or the microorganisms which degrade the quality of water. So DO level decreases. Okay, now the sources of water pollution classified into the two types: point source and the non-point source of water pollution. So now the point source of the water pollution. So if you observe this picture, okay, so this picture shows both the point and the non-point source of water pollution. Can you define what is mean by point source of water pollution? This picture is clear. What is mean by point source of water pollution?
The pollutants which are released from a particular place is called
Yes.
a point source.
Okay, non-point source of water pollution.
Different places they will accumulate and form into pollution.
Yes. So the pollutants which discharge from an identifiable source. If the pollutants discharge from an identifiable source like a pipe is called the point source of water pollution. Example, sewage outlets or a factory outlets. And non-point source of water pollution is nothing but if the pollutants discharge from various sources. Example, could you please tell some examples? You can.
Agriculture fields,
Yes.
pollutants,
Pollutants.
industries, and
Industry. Okay.
forest resources also.
Okay. Runoff from agriculture. A runoff from agriculture or a runoff from farms. So in agriculture, we use pesticides, chemical pesticides and the chemical fertilizers. So during rainy season, rainwater flows over the land surface and it picks up the pesticides and the fertilizer, chemical pesticides and the fertilizer, and it carries all those chemicals and it discharge into nearby water body and cause the pollution. And runoff from dump yards. Dump yards or the landfills, runoff from lawns, runoff from urban streets, runoff from the different areas. There is no specific area. So runoff from the different areas. If the wastewater discharge from various sources into nearby water body, it is called non-point source of water pollution. So the water pollution sources are classified into two types, point and the non-point source of water pollution. It can be classified according to the way pollutants are introduced in water. If the pollutants are directly released from an identifiable source is called the point source, that is discharged from a specific pipe. Sewage outlets or a factory outlets, here you can see water is coming from a particular industry. Example, textile industry. In textile industry they use dyes. Okay, so in these types of sources, it is always possible to divert and treat the wastewater before it enters into the environment. So before being discharged into the nearby water body, water must be treated. So all industry, bulk industry must install wastewater treatment plants. The point source of water pollution is easy to identify because the water is coming from a particular industry or a particular place. So it is easy to identify and easy to control by installing wastewater treatment plant. So all industries must install wastewater treatment plant. These treatment plants removes the chemicals present in the water and kills the microorganism and remove the floating objects present in the wastewater. So this type of water pollution, that is source of water pollution, is called the point source of water pollution. Now coming to the non-point source, discharge from various sources. So just now we discussed these sources have no specific source. Identification control of non-point source discharge is not that much easy because the water comes from the pollutants comes from various sources. Here you can see the discharge from cities, village and forest and croplands and farms or agriculture. So different areas and finally discharge into nearby water body and cause the pollution. So in these two sources of water pollution, point source is identifiable and easy to control by installing wastewater treatment plant. And the non-point sources, it's very difficult to identify the source and difficult to control. And we'll see the examples. All the different examples of the non-point source. Runoff from urban streets, agriculture lands. So in agriculture lands, we use the pesticides and the fertilizer. Runoff from sites of mining activities, runoff from lawns and gardens. And soil erosion. Soil erosion. What is mean by soil erosion?
Removal of upper layers of soil, which is very fertile.
Yes. So removal of top layer of the soil that is easily eroded by the wind and washed away by the water. So during rainy season, soil erosion takes place. The removal of the top layer of the soil may takes place. The top layer of the soil mostly contains the nutrients. And next example is leachate from municipal landfill site and automobile industries acid deposition from the atmosphere. Acid rains are also examples for the non-point source of water pollution. Oil and grease from cars, household cleaning products also example for the non-point source of water pollution. And the third picture is dump yard, Jawahanagar dump yard in 2012. There's a leachate and water flows when rainwater enters into the waste and leachate generates, and some leachate settle at the bottom of this dump yard. It is called the leachate pond, and some infiltrates into the groundwater, cause the groundwater pollution. And here you can see the pictures of the non-point source of water pollution. Acid deposition. So when air pollution becomes water pollution, so different pollutants present in the atmosphere, that is during rainy season, this whatever the pollutants present in the atmosphere dissolves and reach the water body, surface water bodies. Here you can see this picture is very clear, and dissolves in the water bodies, cause water pollution. So when air pollution becomes the water pollution. So acid rain is nothing but any rainfall has a pH value less than 5.6 is called the acid rain. So what are the main gases involves in the acid rain formation?
Sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide.
Yes, so oxides of nitrogen and oxides of sulfur mixed with the rainwater forms acid rain. And these are the main pollutants found in the runoff: sediment, that is soil particle transported from the source, and nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, debris, waste material, or the illegal dumping, and the waste material present on the surface of the surface. And next one, bacteria or the pathogen disease causing microorganisms also exist. And next, pets, waterfall, and failing septic systems, all these are the pollutants found in the runoff. The water carries all these pollutants and enters into nearby water body. And here you can see the pesticide, herbicides, and the fungicides, lead, zinc, mercury. The agriculture waste or waste contains, that is agriculture source contains all these chemicals. Rainwater carries all these chemicals and enters into nearby water body, cause water pollution. See, the types of the water contamination, the chronic contamination. See, chronic contamination and the acute contamination. So, chronic contamination. Can you tell me the difference between the chronic and the acute contamination? Simply, the water contaminations are two types, chronic and the acute contamination. So, chronic contamination happens slowly over many years. Can you tell me one example? See, now we discuss so many examples, right? Point and non-point source examples we discuss. So, could you please tell me the chronic contamination example? So definition happens slowly over many years. After many years, we can see the result. Or else you can post in the chat box also. Okay, so example, fertilizers. Fertilizers from farms slowly enters the lakes and cause algal growth. Okay, here you can see algal growth, impact of the non-point source water pollution. Agriculture waste contains different types of chemicals. We use different chemicals, that is agrochemicals, chemicals used in agriculture, fertilizers, and the pesticides. And also fertilizers are nothing but the nitrogen, phosphorus, and the potassium. Rainwater carries all those pollutants and it enters into nearby water body, cause of water pollution, right? If the water body is rich in nitrogen and the phosphorus, if the water body is rich in nitrogen and the phosphorus, it promote the growth of algae. Okay, it promote the growth of the algae, and the algae covers the entire surface of the water body. Okay, so entire surface of the water body, so it is called the algal bloom. So algal bloom releases different types of toxins, for example, neurotoxin and the hepatotoxin. So neurotoxin affects the neurons, hepatotoxin affects the liver. And when this algae die, the algae is decomposed by the microorganism, and microorganism utilize the dissolved oxygen present in the water body, and it leads to the decrease in the aquatic number, decrease in the species diversity, decline in the species diversity. So it is called eutrophication. So what is mean by eutrophication? Eutrophication means it is a process of enrichment of the water body. It often leads to the elimination of the species. It leads to the elimination of the species. Understood? So this is called chronic contamination. Okay, so this is called the chronic contamination, happens slowly. So often, after many years, we can see this water body's condition. Okay, example, fertilizers from farms enters into the nearby water bodies, cause eutrophication. So it affects various species, that is fish and wildlife, recreational water activities, commercial fishing, tourism, and drinking water quality also decreases. Now, can you tell me the example for the acute contamination? Acute
Oil,
contamination.
oil spills.
Very good. Yeah, yes. See, oil spill. So oil spill or the chemical leak into a river. So it's suddenly it happens. So it happens suddenly. So oil spills or the chemicals enters into the river. So it is called the acute contamination. I hope I'm clear. Acute and the chronic contamination. So now the groundwater doesn't stay in one place. It's not safe to drink the groundwater because there are different sources of the water pollution. So groundwater pollution sources, could you please tell me the sources of groundwater pollution? So oil spills, acute contamination example, a leakage of the oil or the chemical leak.
Madam, this agriculture also, no? Fertilizers,
Uh,
pesticides.
yes, sir. A groundwater contamination, you are telling?
Yeah, groundwater pollution occurs when
Yes, sir.
contaminants
Groundwater pollution, agriculture also.
like
Yes, sir.
chemicals, water seep,
Chemicals. Yes, sir.
aquifers.
Yes, sir. So these that is slowly enters into the groundwater, cause the groundwater pollution. It slowly travels through the soil particles, downward movement, whatever the chemicals present on the surface of the earth during rainy season.
Even sanitation, sewage of
Yes, sir. Leakage.
water,
Yes, sir.
septic water
Septic
tank
tank
leakage.
leakage. And yes, sir. Two sources. Next.
Saltwater intrusion also will be there, no? Because
Yes.
of that.
This septic tanks, pit, pit things also, no, madam?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Septic tank also.
sanitation,
Yes, sir.
because bacteria, virus, all those
All those
directly
enters into the
into the
groundwater.
directly water sources.
Yes, sir. And one more important example, non-point source. We discussed different examples. So here you can see the landfill, that is dump yard. A dump yard.
Hmm.
For example, Jawahar Nagar dump yard.
That is air pollution, no? Or what pollution?
It not only cause the air pollution, it also cause soil pollution, surface water pollution, and groundwater pollution. So here you can see the picture.
Madam, can this PPT will be shared?
Yes, sir. I'll share you the PPT. Sir, here you can see the landfill is a waste, municipal solid waste, daily waste. Okay.
Gas waste.
Decomposition of the waste. So decomposition of the waste, it releases main gas methane. Decomposition of the waste. Decomposition is nothing but the complex materials are converted to the simpler substances because of the activity of the microorganisms. So the decomposition of waste releases main gas methane. So methane traps the heat and it increases the temperature of the earth. So methane is a
That is
greenhouse
due to
gas.
evaporation, no?
Yes. No, no, not the evaporation, sir. The bacteria needs some moisture for the decomposition process. So it converts the waste material to the different gases. So it releases methane gas. And during rainy season, rainwater flows over the land surface. Here you can see water flows over the land surface. It discharge into nearby water body. It carries the pollutants which are present in the waste. That is, we dump different types of the waste. Usually we
And
dump
that
the different types of the waste, biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. So biodegradable means which can be easily degraded by the microorganism, example food waste. Non-biodegradable means this cannot be easily degraded by the microorganism, e-waste, glass, or a plastic
plastic.
or the aluminum, etc. So we mix all the different types of the waste and we dump openly. So the bacteria cannot degrade all the different types of the waste. And during rainy season, this rainwater carries all the chemicals and it finally discharge into nearby water body, cause the water pollution. And some chemicals travel through the soil particles and enters into the groundwater, cause groundwater pollution. So these are the main sources of the groundwater pollution. So that is septic tanks and leachate from municipal landfill site. Leachate is nothing but the toxic liquid that seeps through the waste is called the leachate. So leachate. And next, one more example. One more
From dump
example.
yard.
No, sir. Groundwater contamination.
Hmm.
Groundwater contamination. One more example. Underground rocks, Nalgonda region.
Chlorine.
Fluoride. See, this
Chloride.
underground rocks also cause groundwater contamination. Over exploitation of the groundwater disturbs the underground rocks. These rocks contains various chemicals, minerals get mixed with the groundwater,
Chloride.
groundwater pollution. Example, fluoride. Fluoride cause fluorosis. So we'll discuss different pollutants and their causes. Different pollutants cause different diseases. In next session, we'll discuss this topic, effects of the water pollution. Okay.
These
So
pesticides, fertilizers use also, no?
yes, sir, pesticides and the pesticides
Fertilizers.
and fertilizers also cause different types of diseases. For example, um different disorders and cancer, skin cancer, and
Insecticides, herbicides.
infertility problems also, infertility problems, and different, it affects the reproductive system, cardiovascular system, so different systems in the body. And these pesticides and the fertilizer, various chemicals are fat soluble. So for example, there are different types of vitamins, water soluble and the fat soluble vitamins. So water soluble vitamins, which are soluble only in the water. Example, B complex and C vitamin. Fat soluble vitamins means which are soluble in the fat. Example, vitamin A, D, E, K, fat soluble vitamins. So without fat in our body, these vitamins cannot be absorbed. So these chemicals are fat soluble. So all the chemicals, so whatever the toxic chemicals are there, arsenic or it may be anything. So these
Which
are
vitamins, madam? Fat soluble vitamins
fat
means?
soluble vitamins or A, D, E, K. If we take
That,
excess, it leads to the various problems, cause different problems.
for example,
Excess.
vitamin D deficiency is eyesight problem like that.
Yes,
Visionary
means a
problem.
deficiency. Anything excess is poisonous.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything excess is poisonous. Less intake of any nutrients cause different
Deficient.
diseases. Excess intake of any nutrient cause different diseases. See, these chemicals are very dangerous. So we are talking about the water pollutants. So this nitrate and arsenic, copper or the cadmium, all these are chemicals. So these chemicals are fat soluble. These are not water soluble. If they are water soluble, they excretes in the urine. So these are fat soluble. They go on accumulate in our body. They go on accumulate in our body, and there is no function. There is no specific function. So they go on accumulate in our body and damage the different systems in our body. So these are very dangerous, and these are not water soluble like our water soluble vitamins.
Fertilizers.
Yes,
The
sir.
water soluble vitamins. What are the vitamins?
B complex and C vitamin.
B12,
Yeah,
B2.
B1, B2, B3, B6, B9. and B12, B7, all these are water soluble. They're soluble in water, and if we take excess also, no problem, just cause abdominal cramps or the stomach pain, just nausea, vomiting sensation, but excess excretes in the urine, so no side effects. If we take
This
excess, sir?
water contamination also kills the aquatic animals like fishes,
Yes, sir.
prawns, right?
Yes, water chemicals affects the aquatic organisms. So loss of biodiversity and
So sometimes back in the sea, madam, there are many tortoises were died and they came on the side of the sea. Maybe 1 year back, I don't know. Many
okay,
tortoise, like thousands of tortoise. That is maybe because of the water contamination. Uh, came from particular factory,
yes.
that water into the sea, and in that region, that all tortoises were died. Maybe
Yes,
due
sir,
to
because of the chemicals only. And we should not eat contaminated fish, affected fish, because the
um,
fish is rich in fat. Fish contains the fat. So the
um,
chemicals go on accumulate in the fatty
harmful.
tissue. Fatty tissue. And for example, mercury. So mercury, it affects mainly nervous system. Mercury mainly affects the nervous system. It leads to the paralysis, coma, and death. So whenever we go to the market, we must ask the vendor, people who
Mhm.
sells the vegetables and the fruits. So we must ask the vendor where these vegetables and fruits were grown. If they were grown in the industrial areas or in any contaminated areas, so the plants absorb various chemicals present in the soil and in the water, and these chemicals accumulates in the tissues of the plants. When these plants are eaten by the next level organisms, it may be animals or the human beings, so chemicals present in the plants enters into the next level organisms. So chemicals cause different diseases. Different chemicals cause different
Mhm.
diseases. So we should not eat the affected plants or the affected fish. So we must ask the vendor. So
Even water
the
plants also will die, na, madam, in that region. Like
plants, sir.
water plants
Yes, sir. Water plants also die, and only some plants, that is tolerant plants, can survive
survive.
in that region. Okay, so this is about the types of the water contamination, chronic and the acute contamination, and the sources of the water pollution. So we discussed only the some part of the topic.
So we covered first unit, na, madam? First block, first unit.
Sir?
This is first block, first unit, right?
Yes, sir. First block, first unit only. I'm discussing.
Okay. You teach complete water and wastewater.
Yes, sir. I'm environmental science faculty, so I teach different areas. Water pollution, air pollution.
Our complete water book you will take care, right?
Yes, sir. Different faculty also teach.
Because earlier one more faculty has taken one of the topic in water and wastewater. So I'm thinking you teach or other will also teach.
Uh, Others will teach, sir.
Yeah, please continue.
Okay, sir. So surface water sources, these are water sources found on the earth's surface, rivers, streams. So can you tell me some examples for the surface water? You can see the picture here. Surface water is nothing
Yeah,
but the
rivers, ponds, lakes,
yes. So water which is found on the earth's surface,
sea,
rivers,
oceans,
streams, yes, of oceans, etc. So rivers, streams, so supply large amounts of water. So water level changes with
dams.
seasons. Yeah, dams also. So dams, reservoir. And
So surface water also contaminated, no? Not only groundwater.
firstly, surface water contaminates, and the next groundwater. It affects the
Yeah.
groundwater because the surface water is nothing but the which is present on the surface of the earth.
Directly,
So it is
directly
easily,
contaminated.
yes, directly it contaminates, and groundwater, it takes time. So the water level changes with seasons, so easily polluted by sewage, industries, and agriculture runoff, and etc. And advantages: large quantity of water is generally available, supporting high demand municipal supply schemes. And disadvantages: what easily polluted by surface runoff. So runoff from different areas. Just now we discussed different areas like runoff from agriculture, runoff from dump yard, runoff from urban streets, etc. So industrial discharge and human activities. So we dump different types of the waste openly. We dump. So we should not dump. We should not pollute our environment. It is our responsibility to protect our environment. So
Madam, one question here. See, these reservoirs, dams, ponds, whatever, we store the water for drinking as well as for the agriculture purpose, right?
domestic purpose.
So, especially for drinking purpose, when this water got contaminated, this supply of water from dams or reservoirs will will be purified, or how that
Pu-
process will happen?
Yes, sir. Purify, sir. They purify. I'll tell you what are the parameters they'll consider in the next session. I will tell you, sir. They'll purify the water. They follow the drinking water
before
quantity
before supply
standards.
into the
Yes,
houses.
sir. Yes, sir. They'll check everything organic and inorganic pollutants present in the water, and also the biological, that is pathogen disease causing microorganisms, sometimes sewage, drainage mixed with the drinking water pipeline.
And when they do purification, do we lose the natural minerals in the water, or still it will protected?
Natural, yes, sir. We can lose.
Like natural minerals in the water, right? That would help
See,
the.
the quality of the surface water, it depends on the quality of the air. The
Mm,
quality of the surface water depends on the quality of the atmosphere. So whatever the gases present in
soil.
atmosphere dissolves in the water body, the
Mm,
surface water body. Some are some minerals which are naturally present in the surface water. Some some pollutants sources what atmosphere. Some are rocks. So
mhm,
while purification, some natural, we lose some natural minerals. Yes, sir.
okay.
And disadvantage is dirty after heavy rains and requires, that is needs proper treatment. And coming to the groundwater and also lakes and ponds. So lakes, ponds store water for small and medium towns, and water level is usually stable. And problem is what just now we discussed, that is eutrophication. Lakes and ponds cause the eutrophication. So can you define eutrophication? Just now we discussed the eutrophication topic. What is mean by eutrophication?
Enrichment of water body.
Enrichment of the water body. That water body contains a high levels. If the water body contains a high levels of the nitrogen and the phosphorus, cause excessive growth, algal growth, it is called algal bloom. So main source is what? Fertilizer is the main source. So this reduces oxygen and can kill fish or other aquatic organisms. So it is called eutrophication. So lakes and ponds main disadvantage is eutrophication. And algae releases different toxins, neurotoxins and the hepatotoxin. So neurotoxin is nothing but this toxin affects the nervous system, and hepatotoxin affects the liver. And these toxins are absorbed by the different aquatic organism. For example, fish absorbs the different toxins present in the water. These toxins are released by the algae, and whenever any person consume this affected fish, and not only the chemicals but also the toxins enters into the human body or animals and affects the different organs. So that's why we should not eat the affected fish. So we must ask the vendor whether it is a freshwater fish or a polluted water fish. A fish grows in the polluted water. Uh, if any person consumes that fish, it causes different problems. So mainly it affects the nervous system. It leads to the paralysis, coma, and the death. And a reservoir, next one is the reservoir, is the surface water source. So reservoir is an artificial lake created by that is building or some barrier. So it converts it converts the lotic system to the lentic system. So what is mean by lotic and the lentic? Any idea? Lotic and lentic.
Lentic means stationary water bodies and lotic means flowing water bodies.
Yeah. So lentic means slow moving water or the standing water, example lakes and the ponds. And lotic means fast moving water or the running water. So now this dam convert lotic to the lentic system, fast moving water to the slow moving water. And so main parts of the dam, uh, actually the dam, it stores the water, and this dams has many benefits and the problems. And we know the dams are called the multi-purpose dams. uh, can you tell me the benefits of the dams? Benefits, multi-purpose
Irrigation
uses,
purposes,
irrigation, supply of
drinking water
water to the
facilities.
drinking water, flood control, and hydropower, fisheries. So these are the benefits. And what are the problems of the dams? Problems.
Uh,
Problems of the dams.
Vacating of the people in that area.
Yes.
No
So,
rehabilitation provided.
yes, ma'am. So dam,
Biodiversity is removed.
dam
Plants and animals in
displaces.
that area is removed to construct a dam.
Okay. Any other points?
It affects the fishing also,
Fishing, migration of the fish.
migration of the fish.
Yes. So dam displaces 1 lakh to 3 lakh people, and the loss of biodiversity and the migration. It affects the migration of the aquatic organisms, sedimentation, and some dams cause earthquakes. Some dams cause the earthquakes. It is called the reservoir induced seismicity. If the dam is constructed on the weak underlying rock seismic zone areas, if the height of the dam is more than 100 meters, the continuous storage of the water, a pressure exerts on the weak underlying rocks, it leads to the earthquake. So some dams, not all the dams cause earthquakes, some dams cause the earthquakes if the dam is constructed on the seismic zone area or the weak underlying rocks. So this reservoir is an artificial lake, and it is also source for the water. And next, can you tell me the advantages of the surface water and the disadvantages of the surface water? Advantages and the disadvantages. Here you can see the advantage. So large quantity available. So large quantity of water is generally available, renewed by the rainfall, and one reservoir can serve many purposes. So just now we discussed the different benefits of the dam: drinking purpose, irrigation purpose, and hydropower, etc. So one reservoir can serve many purposes. And the disadvantages of the surface water: high turbidity. So the sedimentation, that is muddy water. High turbidity is nothing but the muddy water after rains, and usually it contains the microbes. Surface water contains the microbes. So what are the sources of the microbes? Biological, that is microorganisms. We can see the microorganisms in the surface water body. Source may be anything: excretion of the animals or the aerobe microorganisms which are present in the atmosphere. Microorganisms are ubiquitous, present everywhere. So surface water body mostly contains the microorganisms. And treatment, expensive treatment is needed, and water is lost through evaporation. So these are the disadvantages of surface water. And coming to the groundwater sources. So groundwater is water stored below the earth's surface in rocks and soil. So it is called the groundwater. So it becomes cleaner because soil naturally filters it. And so examples: springs, wells, tube wells, and artesian wells. These are some examples for the groundwater sources of the groundwater. And open or the dug wells, shallow wells, cheap to build, easy and easily polluted. So wells are easily polluted, and dumping of the waste or dissolution of the various pollutants present in the atmosphere. And tube wells, deep wells, water is cleaner and reliable source. And that is artesian wells, water comes from a confined aquifer under natural pressure. It's bore wells, so water comes from a confined aquifer. Aquifer is nothing but a rock which holds the water. It's a permeable rock which holds the water, and advantages naturally filtered as it percolates through soil and typically requires a less treatment. And disadvantages, vulnerable. So vulnerable to over extraction, so causing water table to drop and faster than natural recharge. And sometimes the pollution also takes place if any chemicals present on the surface of the earth. These chemicals slowly travels through the particles and enters into the groundwater, causing groundwater pollution. And these are some important terms. The water table, here you can see the picture. The water table is the upper level of the groundwater, and it rises after rainfall, and it falls when too much groundwater is pumped. And aquifer, so aquifer is nothing but it's a layer of rock or the soil. It stores the water. And there are different types of the aquifer. Here you can see the different types of the aquifer, unconfined and the confined aquifer. And unconfined aquifer, that is which is open to the surface, and gets water directly from rainfall. And it is more polluted, easily polluted. And confined aquifer is the impermeable layer or the impermeable rock, and it is better protected from pollution. And this is about the first topic, that is water sources. There are different sources we discussed. Any dots here?
Ma'am, you told about aquifers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Aquifers are natural rocks or
Natural rocks only, ma'am.
where they are present, like inside the soil
Inside
at what depths? Depth.
depth. Depth means in for example the groundwater depth. Sorry, for example, we know the depth of our groundwater borewell's depth.
Yes, ma'am.
Same, that is in minimum 5 to the maximum 50 meters, like that we can see the aquifers.
How they will store, ma'am? How rocks can store water?
Rocks means there are some permeable rocks and the impermeable rocks. Permeable rocks means these rocks absorbs the water, so water is stored in that rock.
Okay, they are present inside the ground,
Inside the rock. Yes, ma'am.
and that
So
they are the main source of groundwater, ma'am.
yes, ma'am. They are the main sources of the groundwater. That is unconfined aquifer is the main source. That is approximately the 5 to 50 meters we can see. So below the groundwater, that is it is close to the surface and receives water directly from rainfall, and it is more vulnerable to the pollution because it is close to the surface of the earth. And most open wells and shallow tube wells draw water from this unconfined aquifer only.
Ma'am, does
You can see
water
here,
travel inside the ground?
ma'am.
Does water travel inside the
Yes, ma'am.
ground?
Water, yes. See, groundwater doesn't stay in one place. It moves from one place to the other place, and also it carries the pollutants. It
Ma'am, it is
also
completely
carries the.
inside. It is completely packed. How can it move, ma'am? Inside the ground,
Here
it is
you can see the
completely
picture,
packed
ma'am.
with rocks.
It's packed with the rock. That is unconfined aquifer, no ma'am. It's a layer. It stores the water. So water moves.
Okay.
So below this unconfined aquifer, we can see the impermeable rock. Here you can see the picture. So it's a movable only. It moves from one place to the other place, and below the unconfined aquifer, we can see the confined aquifer, and it is approximately more than 350 meters. 50 to more than 350 meters, we can see the confined aquifer, and it is impermeable layer.
Okay, ma'am.
So we'll discuss some important topics. Can you tell me what are the effects of the surface and the groundwater pollution? You can post in the chat box also.
Health issues, madam, severe health issues, crop issues.
Okay, crop issues. Crop yield decreases. Okay,
And uh, aqua life would impact
okay,
animals, birds, trees, and human being.
okay.
Eutrophication.
Yes, ma'am. Eutrophication and BOD, COD levels rise. Biological oxygen demand and the chemical oxygen demand levels increases, and the DO level decrease in the dissolved oxygen content in the water. And next,
Aquatic life will be affected.
yeah, it also affects the aquatic life, aquatic organisms.
Coral reefs.
Coral reefs, ocean. Okay. So next, ocean acidification. Have you heard the term ocean acidification? What is mean by ocean acidification? And what is the main source of the ocean acidification?
Carbon dioxide.
Yes, ma'am. Carbon dioxide is the main source of the ocean acidification. When carbon dioxide dissolves in the water, it reacts with the water, it forms the carbonic acid, weak carbonic acid, and it dissociates to form carbonates and the bicarbonates. And the calcium which naturally present in the water, and this forms the calcium carbonate. This calcium combines with the carbonate, forms the calcium carbonate. And many sensitive organism, that is clams and the snails, they use calcium carbonate to build their shells. So actually carbon dioxide is important for all life. The carbon dioxide, that is carbon cycle, plays a very important role. So carbon is essential, but excess dissolution of the carbon dioxide, it leads to the ocean acidification. Excess dissolution means excess reaction of the carbon dioxide with the water. It leads to the excess formation of the weak carbonic acid, that is alkaline pH. It is converted to the acidic pH. Alkaline pH get converted to the acidic pH, and many sensitive organisms could lose their shells. So it is called the ocean acidification. See, water pollution, it is also called the water pollution. And we already discussed that sometimes the air pollution leads to the water pollution. This is also a good example. And next effects. Can you tell me the other effects? Other effects of water pollution. It affects the aquatic organisms, and BOD, COD levels increases, DO level decreases, and cause eutrophication. Next, cause different diseases. For example, if the water contains the cadmium, so cadmium cause ititis disease.
Disease.
Ititis, it affects the bones and the kidneys. Mercury, it affects the nervous system.
Minimata disease.
Minamata disease. So firstly, it is observed in the Japan. So Minamata city, it's a bay in Japan. So that's why it is named as a Minamata.
Yes, ma'am.
This malnutrition, madam.
Malnutrition, see,
Gastrointestinal.
malnutrition is different, sir. Malnutrition is different.
Gastro.
Malnutrition means a less intake of the nutrient or excess intake of the nutrients. It leads to the malnutrition.
This can cause by unsafe water.
Sir, malnutrition is nothing but, for example, okay, just
Length
a
and
minute, sir. I'll
balanced
share
diet.
you the PPT.
Nutrition in the water, no? Contaminated.
Not see, malnutrition is mainly due to the excess or the more intake of the excess intake of the nutrient, essential nutrient, or less intake of the essential nutrients. It
It
leads to
is
the
related to
malnutrition.
food, not with
It is
water.
related to the food.
Balanced
Food
diet, it
means
is related.
the food contains the various nutrients, carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, and the minerals. Okay. Sir, please wait. I'll share with the PPT. Sir, nutritional status is different. That is, it is the condition of health as influenced by the utilization of the nutrients. Utilization of the nutrients by the body. So we already know about the nutrition. So various nutrients nourish our body, nutrients like carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, and the minerals, etc. So here you can see the good nutritional status, that is well developed body, normal weight for height, well developed muscle, healthy skin, and a clear, smooth, and glossy skin. And a poor nutritional status means undersized, poorly developed body. They are susceptible to various infections. So here you can see this is called the malnutrition. Malnutrition means less intake of the nutrients or the more intake of the nutrient. That is essential nutrients only. Carbohydrate, proteins, fats, vitamins, and the minerals. It is related. So that is malnutrition is a major health problem, especially in the developed country. I'll just you can see here.
Okay.
Understood. Kwashiorkor disease, deficiency of the protein. It called only the deficiency of the protein called Kwashiorkor disease. So symptoms, okay, and this body belly, etc. Marasmus, deficiency of all energy nutrient, carbohydrate, proteins, and the fats. Okay, this disease is called the marasmus disease, and this is less intake of the or deficiency of the vitamins and the minerals. Baby looks like this. Okay. And excess intake of the nutrients, it may be anything. It may be vitamin or a mineral or a carbohydrate, protein or a fat. So carbohydrate, fat, it leads to the obese problem. And calcium, it leads to the formation of the stones in the kidney. So like that. So malnutrition means it includes both undernutrition and the overnutrition. It is related to the essential nutrient required by living organisms. I hope I'm clear. Understood, sir?
Ma'am, are you going to take the next unit?
Yes, ma'am. I'll continue.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Water pollution affects
Yes, ma'am. Next session, I'll explain the water pollution effects. So
like
first of all,
waterborne.
we'll discuss some important terms, ma'am. Selection of a water source.
No,
So
ma'am. Earlier you asked about what are the effects of water pollution, surface water pollution.
yeah, surface water. Yeah, okay. So one more effect is there. Could you tell me that effect? Waterborne diseases.
Diseases,
Waterborne diseases. What are waterborne diseases?
typhoid,
Yes, typhoid,
Color.
cholera,
cholera. Okay. Next, other examples.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea. So diarrhea, loose motions,
Yeah.
dysentery, blood
dysentery,
motions.
Amoebic dysentery.
Yeah. So waterborne diseases are nothing but disease caused by the microorganisms. If the diseases are caused by the microorganisms, called waterborne diseases. So it may be a bacteria, virus, or a protozoa. Wastewater also contains the microorganisms. So not only the organic or the inorganic pollutants also contains the microorganisms. So selection of a water source. So before constructing a water treatment plant, so engineers must decide which source is best. The selected source should provide enough clean water. So not only today but also in the future to make this decision. So there are important factors they consider. So first one is the quantity and the second one is the quality. I'll share you the PPT. So the selected source should provide enough clean water. So not only for today but also in the future, not only for present but also in the future. So first one is the quantity, second one is the quality, reliability and proximity, elevation, economy and sustainability. So quantity means whether the source has enough water to meet the demand. So the source should provide sufficient water throughout the year. So it should meet the needs of the present population and also the future generation, that is sustainable development. So a small pond may be enough for a village but not for a city like Hyderabad. Okay, so good example, that is quantity. So the source has enough water to meet the demand and it sufficient water throughout the year. And the next second one is the quality. So quality refers to how clean and safe the water is. How clean is, that is the water should be free from different pollutants, organics and the inorganics, various chemicals, and no harmful microorganisms, no toxic chemicals, and no color, no odor, and all the parameters should be within the permissible limits only. If the water is highly polluted, the treatment becomes very difficult. So treatment is nothing but the physical infrastructure used to treat the wastewater. It removes the pollutants present in the water, organic, inorganic, and the various microorganisms. And next one, reliability. So reliability means the source should provide water continuously. It provides the continuously. So water should be available in different seasons, in all the seasons. It should not dry up. So for example, we are already experiencing during summer season. And the next one, proximity. How close the water source is to the place where water is needed. That is nearby source. It reduces the length of the pipelines and the cost also, and construction cost also will be reduced. And if the reservoir is located just in 20 or the 30 kilometer, usually preferred over one which is located in 150 or a 200-kilometer away. And next one is the elevation. So that is height of the water source compared to the town or the city. And it saves the electricity, pumping cost, and the etc. And the next one, economy, overall cost of the developing and water supply system and maintenance. And sustainability. So what is mean by sustainability? General, you tell me what is mean by sustainability, sustainable development.
Use of natural resources without compromising the future needs.
Yes. So not only the natural resources. Can you list out the natural resources?
Forest resources,
Forest,
water
water,
resources,
minerals,
minerals.
and the food also, animals, etc. So natural resources, whatever we get from the nature. So not only for the present generation, but also for the future generation. So actually the sustainable development includes the three: environmental protection, social development, and the economic development also. It includes the three: social development, economic development, and the environmental protection. So the sustainability here, using the water source without exhausting, without polluting. So water should be available not only for the present generation but also for the future generation. So excessive groundwater, that is over exploitation of the groundwater, it leads to the contamination. That is, we disturbs the underground rocks. The underground rocks contains the various minerals, chemicals. So they go on mix with the groundwater, cause the groundwater pollution. So excessive groundwater extraction should be avoided, and the source should be protected from pollution. And we should not throw the waste openly. And we have to separate the waste into biodegradable and the non-biodegradable waste. And the plantation is also important because the plants absorbs the various chemicals present in the soil and in the water, and also absorbs the harmful gases present in the atmosphere. And these plants, by conserving the that is by conserving the rainwater, and next one, by plantation. So these two maintain the groundwater levels, so it is available us, it is available, easily available to us. So these are the various selection criteria of a water source: quantity, quality, reliability, proximity, elevation, and economy, and sustainability. So enough water is available, water is clean and safe, and water is available throughout the year, and the source is close to the consumer, and higher elevation reduces the pumping, and low construction, and sustainability. It not only for the present generation but also for the future generation. Okay, so next session we'll discuss effects of the water pollution, and also we'll discuss some important topics. Okay. So can you tell me what is mean by bioindicator? Bioindicator for the water pollutants. What are bioindicators?
Bioindicator means like plants and animals which indicate the level of pollution present in the water.
Okay, not only in the water, but also in the atmosphere and also soil. So bioindicators we detect the changes in the environment, the presence or absence of uh, some organisms detect, that is tell the quality of the water, presence or absence of some organisms. So these are called the bioindicators. So can you tell me one example for the bioindicator? Water bioindicators or a air pollutant bioindicator?
Blue-green algae, phytoplankton.
Phytoplankton, fresh water or a polluted water, example for the
Sorry, ma'am.
see presence or absence of some organisms indicate the quality of water. So some organisms exist in the fresh water, some organisms exist in the polluted water. So presence of some organism, absence of some organism indicate the quality of water. See,
Yes,
this
ma'am.
blue-green algae exist only in the polluted water. So presence of this blue-green algae, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Presence of this blue-green algae, we can easily say that water is a polluted water. Because this blue-green algae, it grows only in the polluted water. If the water contains the high levels of the nitrogen and the phosphorus, it supports the growth of the algae. And some organisms exist only in the fresh water. So that is freshwater organisms are different and the polluted organisms are different. So presence or absence indicate the quality of the water. So we'll continue in the next session. We'll discuss the effects of water pollution also in detail. Thank you, everyone.
Ma'am, examples of bioindicator animals?
Animals, that is worms are there.
What?
Animals means many organism animals mostly did not live in the polluted environment. I can